Okay, so next we need our thread for outlining. We work with cotton thread number 50. 50 stands for the thickness. It's not the thread that you get when you go into a sewing shop, because that ordinary sewing thread is polyester, but you'd want a cotton thread because you're working on cotton. And what I'm using, it's fairly available. There's lots of different types. What's important is it's cotton and it is a number 50. And for the outline, I double the thread. So I've already cut it. It's about as long as from your thumbs to your elbows, or if you've done a fair bit of sewing or embroidery, you know what you're comfortable with. I'm threading it onto a needle. Embroidery needles, blunt ones, are the better ones, especially when you get started out, so you don't accidentally poke through the bars of the net. And okay, I use a double thread, but what's important is that the loop is on the end. So I have the open end where the needle is, and you don't have to do it, but it's something I like to do. I like to knot the thread onto the needle. So I wrap it around and, okay, pull it here. And then basically, you can see you have the thread top and bottom, and it loops through it between the needle. I find it a bit difficult to describe exactly, but I think the picture says it all. And then you just pull it tight. And you need to make sure that the knot sits right at the needle. Sometimes it can happen that it loosens up a bit, and you'll notice that it starts snagging. All you need to do is you just tighten it again. Okay, now we want to do the outline. The first thing you're gonna have to look at and think about is where to start. You want to do it as much as possible all in one go. So for me, I thought the way to go would be start here, work my way around the outside of the leaf, go down the middle, and end over here. That way I can do it all in one go. Because as it is a net, you see through it. To finish off a thread can be a bit of a tricky matter, because you really don't want to see where things end and begin. And that's why I have this loop on my double thread. So I start here, and to secure the end, I just go through the loop, and I have a secure end without having any bits to, secure any further. So here we go. In, out. The little holes are officially called gaskets, from what my teacher told me, and the in-betweens are the bars. So you go in and out of the gaskets. You don't skip any, and you just do your best to follow along the line. So here we go. In and out. Now, usually I would not put this in a stand. I would hold it in my hand. It'll be more flexible, but we are doing it here to just Help it not to shake too much so that you can see better what is being done. So when it's not in the frame, you can turn it around to, however it is most convenient for you to work it. Okay, now you might have noticed the knots come a little loose and it kind of got a little bit stuck here, so I just tightened it again. Okay, and we stick to close as possible to our pattern to follow along with it. Sometimes you might have to go back a bit and redo some things because, it might not have turned out quite the way you wanted it to look. So, all right. Here we go. And as you, I'm sure, can see by now, it really takes time, can be a bit of a slow process. All right. You have to watch out for curves because they might not necessarily look the way you want them to look. But particularly if you deal with flowers and leaves and anything organic, there's no two leaves that are the same. Leaves don't necessarily look right or wrong, they're just what they are. So if things are not 100% accurate, most likely it'll be okay because, And here, rather than going straight on here, I think I shall go one down and back into the same gasket that I've come out of, just to give it a bit of a more defined turn. Okay. And as you see here, I'm not following 100%. I'm going slightly above it. Because I think it'll probably look better. Now this looks like it's a fair bit off, but actually once you pull the thread through, it really isn't, and gives a fairly decent curve here. Okay. And in order to get a nice leaf or whatever object you do, avoid skipping gaskets. Just really take your time to go through every one. Now here I probably could have done something to make it a nicer curve, but it'll do. And here we're going to want now a nice point. So I will double a couple of stitches up, and then I go back up and do this.